Wild zebras. It has no sauce. It's dry.
Probably not wise.
Gotcha, white folks.
You pooped.
Gotcha.
Where in the world are we going?
Like truffles in the wild.
You could pass as a white dude.
I ain't mad at that. Just in case I forget my name.
So I'm Justin Draplin.
I'm CJ Whitfield.
We're the Wild Zebras. Welcome to the Wild Zebras. Hit the smash button, smash the like button, like the smash button, and all that fun stuff. Just follow us and read us, and you'll be fine. We're here with a guest, Kirby Bridwell. We have two rules. First rule is no swearing because we're PG. Second rule is don't be boring. Otherwise, you're not allowed back.
Okay.
But yeah, he was just getting ready to tell us a story. So we figure, you know what, let's just go ahead and start off and then tell the story and sucker him in this way. So Kirby, go ahead.
Well, we were just talking about the KKK, so I mean, everybody likes a good KKK story, right?
Right. Yeah. Can't go wrong with those.
So,
right off.
And I know we don't know each other, but man, I'm born and raised in upstate South Carolina. I'm a authentic redneck, I guess you'd call me. That's what I tell everybody that I meet from. I don't know that I'm really, but no,
he is.
I had this is a sensitive story because it involves my sister. But anyway, my ex-brother-in-law, who was from Landrum.
See, you could have been more vague. You could have been like a guy I know.
Okay.
But you already like threw her under the bus.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, a lady.
But
I
will say this before you continue. There's a slight chance that your ex-brother-in-law will never see this. So
okay. If he, well, I don't know. I don't care if he does. I'm more worried about my sister.
We're in the South,
right,
so there's actually a slight chance that you're blood related to your ex-brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Oh!
So could go either way there.
Could go either way. Oh man. But no, my ex-brother-in-law. And he was a pretty funny guy. He was from Landrum, South Carolina, which is a little north of here. But he always had a funny saying. He said, you know you're a redneck if people stop by your house thinking you're having a yard sale just on a normal day. You know, that's when you know you're a redneck. Yeah. But when he was a child, he did have some family members in the KKK, and they had the way he described it, it was like a velvet painting of a Ku Klux Klan Grandmaster over their couch in the living room.
Wow.
Right.
This wasn't subtle.
And so this guy's in elementary school.
But see, that wasn't about race. Okay.
No,
that was about art.
Yeah.
Right.
The crushed velvet element.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah. It was an artwork, and they were about preserving history.
Yeah,
is what that was about. Clearly. I mean, you can't. There's really no argument.
They had Kenny Rogers right next to it. So
just so happened to be the Grand Wizard.
But
it was more about
his family made progress with this because he had a teacher, an elementary school teacher, who was a nice young black lady, and she was coming to visit. And he said that he remembers his dad did indeed take it down and put it behind the couch before she.
Oh,
that's progress.
Didn't get rid of it, but put it behind the couch.
So anyway, that's
CJ's good with that. CJ has said he's okay with closet racism, so you're good.
Didn't say I was okay, but
more acceptable.
Okay. More acceptable. Like Justin, I know what he's like, but when he gets on a podcast, he compresses it a little bit, and I'm cool with that. He just tones it down a little bit. Then he turns it back up after we say cut. So
right.
Sounds right. That's a good story to kick us off, I think.
Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, that's inquiring minds want to know.
There it is.
So what is our topic going to be? So just so the audience knows, Kirby is a real estate agent and also works for a new construction builder here in South Carolina as sales coordination, real estate development, purchasing, all that kind of stuff. CJ has his real estate license and is currently working on flipping houses, remodels, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then I do not have my real estate license, but I'm doing a development with tiny homes where we're developing the property, bringing in tiny homes and starting to build tiny homes. So we kind of overlap there a good bit. So we were thinking it was going to be real estate, but I guess we might just talk about The KKK the whole time?
Yeah,
well, I can piggyback on that story with my experience because, well, the KKK, as everybody, well, I don't know if it's well known, but it used to be headquartered in Howell, Michigan. And
Was it really?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
For the
Really?
well, you never knew that, Justin?
I did not know that.
Yeah, Howell, Michigan was the national headquarters for the KKK up until like 25 years ago, 30 maybe, 25, 30 years. Like within us growing up, it was the headquarters.
Really?
Yep. Howell was the headquarters. So South Line. So my wife and I, we decided to build a home. And as we went further out from the city, as you can imagine, the cheaper stuff get bigger house, more land, you know. So I sent Justin a video like this house is a knockout house.
It's a baller house. It's a straight up baller house. I'm like, dang, dude.
So
he got the money. House. He got the Benjamins over there.
It was our dream house, but we had to move even further out. And the further out, it was less urban, less diversity, less black people. So we get out here, we were like, okay, we went like 15 minutes further than we wanted to get, but we got everything we wanted in the house. We backed up to a nature preserve, square footage, movie theater, gym, we could build anything we want. So we built this crazy house. We had 2 kids that were going to school that were coming from predominantly black school systems. We looked into it and the percentage of black kids was 1%. At the school that we're moving into, South Line.
So you're like the double 1%, because like you're the 1% yes! financially, but you're also
so it was weird too. And you got to think, being that proximity, Howell was about 15 minutes from South Line where we.
Man, you could drive from Howell, go kill a black man, and get back before a sitcom was over.
Yeah, there it is.
Before our show, start the Wild Zebras, go to a killing, come back. You're still Zebras are still playing.
There it is.
It's close.
Nobody would be the wiser. So you can imagine the type of. A lot of the people that we would encounter coming from, it was a new development there. It was all like horse farms and all that stuff. So they're just developing. That's why it was so cheap.
And quite frankly, black people don't do horse farms.
No, we don't. We do not. We do not. But you can imagine the type of clientele we were getting coming from that area, that they grew up, like you said, with Ely and Grandmasters on their wall, and now they're, so, and I've only had one incident there. Well, I'll say that for later in the show. But just the building of the house, with the whole process was interesting. The school was interesting. My kids never had any things. It was actually like the opposite. They were like the token, So like even when my son made the travel basketball team, or they'd have a event at school or something, everything he would do would be just like, oh, good job, Trevor. He didn't even do anything. What are you talking about? Like,
he's on the bench. Look at that black kid.
They overcompensated so much. I'm like, this isn't reality. I tried to sit them down like, this isn't how it's going to be. But
so you did get some of that, though. You got people kind of bending over backwards to prove that they aren't.
It's so weird. Like,
So they were liberal.
So but I got more of that than the crazy 1 or 2 occasions where people were, racist.
Really hateful.
And it was crazy because I'm preparing my kids and myself mentally. And what am I going to do if they do this? And what if I'm going to do? And it was the complete opposite. They were over nice, where they were like going to have him jaded when he got out to the real world. Everybody's not going to treat you like this. You know what I'm saying? Every little thing they do, he's invited to every party. People are calling, can Trey come over? Like he was like and people were pretty cool about that.
Did you show them Remember the Titans? Because it could have been like that.
Yeah, there it is. Where it's 2 things. Yeah. The two separate things. But yeah, it was. And you know what? To be like that, we needed more black people. It was like they were the only ones. Like I think my kids' middle school had like 300 kids, and it was like 7 black kids.
Okay.
So ultimately, I always wonder about the world moving forward. I love that house. I still feel kind of sick about it, but we moved back towards more Metro Detroit to Northfield/Farmington Hills. It's like 30% black. That was one of the primary reasons. One, it was out a little bit too far. It was off the beaten path. Every time I wanted to go visit family, friends, go into civilization, it was like a 25-minute drive, and that just wore on me after a couple years. But that was the primary reason for more diversity. But it was funny that, I thought I was going to come into this, how KKK war zone, and everybody was, for the most part, except for 2 like extraordinary events, everybody was the complete opposite. It was crazy.
Okay.
I thought
Yeah.
that's worth noting. So,
See, it just goes to show you what's on the TV isn't necessarily what happens
That's true.
in life.
that's true.
Necessarily.
Necessarily. Not saying it's not, but
Yeah, and I made some fairly insensitive jokes probably there during that.
Right.
I'd probably go on that, so I do apologize for that. But in all seriousness, like you knew going there though, which is crazy because I grew up in Plymouth, right next to Northfield, where you're at, right?
yeah.
My whole life, not far, maybe 30 minutes to Howell.
Yep.
I never knew.
that.
I never
Yeah.
knew this. I knew it was predominantly white. I didn't know it was
The KKK headquarters for the country. Yep.
But you
National
knew this moving to South Lyon.
Yeah.
So you were like looking for a fight, or like what?
No.
I mean, what was going through your head? Like, hey, I'm gonna move my family into like what is? I mean, clearly it didn't end up that way, which is awesome,
Yeah.
which is good, which is like white people get to say nanner, nanner, nanner.
Yeah.
But like, what was going through your head?
Do white people say that?
Do they? I don't. You guys got to tell me. I don't know.
These white people don't.
Okay, good. I was putting that in my back pocket. White people saying that. Okay.
I'm gonna use that. I'll use that later.
It's like,
All
Justin, you
right.
don't speak for us all. You don't speak for us all here. So, but yeah, I was coming.
You said I can't swear, so I can't say what I'm thinking right now. Go ahead.
Yeah.
There it is. But yeah, I came in mentally prepared. I had to, if they say this, if they call my kid this, I was coming for a fight. You fail to be prepared, then you find yourself in a situation. So
you were willing to go into that just to get the house and the land that you want.
So, but the point being that, yeah, it was a little bit further because now the cutoff line was Novi, and we went like 12 minutes past Novi. I'm like, is it going to be that much? Because no matter what, unfortunately,
you were trying to justify it to get, because you had the dream and you could see the dream and it was right there.
Yeah.
And so you had to start kind of justifying.
It was like, yeah, you got to try to make it. Well, it's only 10. It's only 12. Oh, it's only 4 miles up the road. What's a 4 mile difference? But I knew subconsciously that 4 mile, which didn't end up being that much true. But the diversity in like even Novi, you have like a cultural diversity. Like
there's a good number of Hispanics, and I mean,
exactly. More, Indians, Asians, they got a good number. Once you hit South Line, it's like 94% white, and then
Crackerland.
He said it, I did in America. He said it, and I did.
Well, you see,
I'm just reading between the lines. Just like you said, you're a different person outside of here. You're kind of toning it down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm just, helping you along.
He can say a lot more than me with that Yankee accent of his because
there it is.
Yeah, it just sounds hateful.
It sounds racist when I say it because I talk like a redneck.
You've been doing real estate around here for a while. So I mean, Greenville is pretty diverse. I mean, there's some heavy
black
Hispanic
kids that come and play basketball at your tiny homes. I do know that.
No, that was actually in my neighborhood where I live. Yeah, we get
wow.
So in my neighborhood, we have some black families, not a lot. There's a couple. It is predominantly white for sure. But there is then a group of like 15, 20 black kids that come and use our basketball court who live in like the apartments up the street.
Yeah.
Because this area, Travelers Rest used to be like a pretty desolate, rough, rundown, no money. And then they did a Swamp Rabbit Trail, and now this area is kind of being flooded with money. And don't get me wrong, I don't live in the kind of neighborhood that you live in or the kind of house that you had, but it is a nicer neighborhood. Okay, it's a middle class, 200 plus to 300s homes.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah.
But we have a pool, we have a playground, we have a basketball court, a volleyball court, all part of our neighborhood, part of our HOA.
Okay.
So
the black kids come like deer, like we see deer come around, and just like the black kids is like a deer sighting.
Just like that, just like wild deer. Everybody gets their binoculars.
Look.
Yeah. Everybody gets binoculars out. So they come and we talked about this a while ago. So they come and play basketball in our. Although if we're going to talk about this, I got to bring this up. So one of my employees, Sarah, she's my office manager. I don't want to get too far into it, but one of her children is mixed. So she had a child with a black man, and so she's raising him. He's 14 years old, and he went, and I saw him walking up into my neighborhood to be playing basketball in my neighborhood. And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go play him. And I had my work boots on, my steel toe boots, my long pants, everything, right? And so I meet him up there, and he knows, he's done work on my property and stuff, so he knows me. So I said, let's play some one-on-one while you wait for all your buddies. And so we start playing. Smoked him, baby. I crushed him. It was great in my work boots, to the point where his buddies all started showing up and started giving him a hard time. Like, oh, you're getting beat by this old white dude wearing boots. And so he got so embarrassed that he called the game. And it was like 6-2, right? Like it wasn't like 40-2, but clearly I was, and it was my ball. So
you made sure to point that out.
So it was still trending in my direction. And so he just quit. And I'm like, all right, that's cool, whatever. My feet were hurting anyway. You can't be doing this in steel toe boots. And then I found out, like, he was so
devastated.
This is so devastating. I crushed this child's soul. Where he called his mom, my office manager, to pick him up from basketball early because he was so embarrassed. That made me know. I felt a little bit bad.
Yeah, I don't know what's more disturbing, that a 14-year-old's that bad in basketball that you could beat him, or that you find so much pleasure in crushing his kid in front of his friends.
Yeah,
that you found it so pleasurable.
I'm sick. I'm not well.
It's probably going to follow him his whole life.
There it is. Justin, you messed him up, man.
He's going to be at some job interview, and he's going to hear them steel-toed work boots bumping around.
Because
he's going to blow the interview. Best opportunity of his life.
Well, and I called his mom, so his mom knew what happened. And I didn't realize he was all that worked up about it until I guess he came home, and she like called him on it, like, "Are you okay? Are you gonna be okay?" And he's like, "How did you know?" He got all defensive about what had happened. So
that's what you do, huh? You just go around dream killer. That's what they call you around the hoop court.
I mean, he's like 6'2", 6'3", but. And he's telling his mom, "Oh, you don't understand. You don't understand. Justin's really good. He's really fast. He's really good." And I'm like, no, I'm not. I mean,
you've been firing in all cylinders that day, man. That's what you.
No, I mean, I like basketball. I've played for a while, so I can compete. I am quick, but like, I got no shot. I got no ups. White men can't jump. True statement. But I mean, I hustle. I'm quick. I can play some good defense. But the NBA does not value those skills.
Your attributes. Yeah. They don't. Okay.
You need to shoot and you need to jump. I can't do either of those.
Okay.
Anyway, so sorry about that, buddy. I'll pay for your
who will remain
therapy.
nameless.
You should.
But as we were saying, in the real estate scene, I don't know how it is down there, but more to what Justin questioned me about, we're in a catch-22. My wife finds this to be young and kind of at the upper end. Not like we're rich or millionaires or anything, but
and we should clarify for everybody that your wife makes all the money and you're basically
I'm a trophy husband. I just sit back and I look pretty. I make sure my hair's in the bob. I put on the polka dot suit with the hard bottoms, and I bring in croissants right when she's at the door. And, Stepford husband is what I would like to refer to. So, but what we find is when we want, like the houses that we want in the price range and the things that we're looking at, it's automatic. Whether we're in South Line or whether we're in Novi, if you're getting the houses that cost $700,000, there are very few Black people. It's crazy. It's like, that's just, it comes along. There's no predominantly Black, I think we have to move to Atlanta to get to something like that. I think that might be the only place in the country.
The NF not effing around. They're trying to do a Black city in Texas, I guess, is what they want. I read that. It was on Wikipedia. It must be true.
I need to look. Okay, it's on Wikipedia. It must be true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's that plight, man. It's crazy that, so you want to have, I want to have a mixture. I want my kids to grow up with a mixture of knowing some diversity. I don't want them to be where we used to stay, where it's predominantly Black. I don't want them where it's 1% of you. I want a mixture, and that's primarily the reason. And it's so funny, before we built that house, this same exact neighborhood that we live in now, we couldn't afford it yet. But we're going to look, and there was a new home sales consultant like yourself, and they were taking us around. And it's funny, we came in, and they were in the final phase of this neighborhood that we live in now. And I pulled up to what used to be the sales center, what was the first house, but unbeknownst to us, they sold it. And so when we pulled up, some people came out. They didn't have any sign that says, private property. I said, well, oh, we're good. Oh, no, there aren't any homes left. You don't need to come here anymore. They're all sold out, Somehow I looked on Pulte's website. They were still selling. And so when my wife and I came, and she was showing us the last, I think they had 6 houses left. And I'm like, yeah, we went up front. The guy said they were all sold. I don't need to come back. They're all sold out. Well, me and my twisted humor. I said, you guys must not want any Black people moving here. So she was taken back because a lot of people, aren't ready for that,
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I'm angry, I'm joking, but she, you don't know, she was like talking about, And so she said, oh, that's not true. We have Black people. We have one of the Detroit Lions living here. I said, that doesn't count. Everybody likes pro athletes. It's so funny. And even a funnier part of the story is that Detroit Lion player we ended up moving into his house. We didn't know where he lived, but this is the house we moved in. It just so happened to be the Black person that she was referring to.
The one Black guy. So you're still the token Black guy.
No, we got a couple in the neighborhood now. We got a couple. It's like 8 of us now, 8 families here now. So it's good.
So. There's going to be some rioting and looting.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. So
that's good. So you found something. So Kirby, tell us about what happened here, because I've only been in this area about 3 years. You've been around. So give us some feedback on 2008, how things changed. I mean, how this used to be a huge mill area, textiles. Obviously that all got wiped out. So there's been some big changes.
So what's the industry? What's the industry there now? Like what's kind of driving everything? These new home sales, where the people that are buying these new houses, where are they working?
Yeah, there's, the biggest employers in the area are the hospital system. Michelin has a big plant here. BMW is here. And, Travelers Rest is kind of a little suburb area of Greenville. So I think, going back, and I'm born and raised 10 minutes from where Justin and I are sitting right now. So I've been here my whole life.
And in a way, it's kind of like a Plymouth or Northville to Detroit.
Okay.
We're about 15 minutes to downtown Greenville, straight shot.
Okay.
We got
people who wants a little bit more space, a little bit more lot size, but
still
a downtown, a quaint little downtown still, that kind of stuff.
And I think going back even further to, the early 2000s, I think it really started with downtown Greenville, which is kind of the main hub, which back in the mid to late 90s, the 1900s, you didn't go there. I mean, there wasn't really a lot of restaurants there. There wasn't a lot of business there. And then that started to kind of develop and become really what it is today, which it's on every top 10 lists in the country as far as just great small towns or mid-size. So Travelers Rest, which is north of Greenville, I think what kind of started it. And you're right. When I was growing up, and the only reason you came to Travelers Rest was there was a great outdoor store that sold called Sunrift Adventures. They've been here forever selling, camping gear and canoes and kayaks. And you go to Travelers Rest to go to Sunrift, or you go to Carolina Fine Foods, who, in my opinion, has the best onion rings in the upstate. That's pretty much the only reason you can come to Travelers Rest. There wasn't anything here. But when downtown Greenville put in the Swamp Rabbit Trail, which is a rails to trails system that runs from downtown Greenville to downtown Travelers Rest, that was just absolute game changer. All of a sudden, a couple of restaurants popped up, which in the past had just not been able to make it. And here we are, fast forward.
It's only been 8 or 9 years since they finished.
Yeah, they finished that trail. It was right after the recession, so I believe. And I'd have to check. I'm terrible with dates. I can't remember dates. But
2012.
But that really started it. And then, the market that I handle a good bit for the builder I work for are, 80% of my buyers or 70% of my buyers are coming from out of state, and they're empty nesters or retirees, downsizing, moving to the area to get closer to grandkids that have moved here. Their children have moved here to take jobs and then have grandkids. So we got people coming.
70% is out of towners for you.
It's the communities I've got right now. Yeah. Yeah. So, and it's all people from all over the country, and personally, for me, it's awesome. I love meeting people from all over the country and different stories and different areas. So, it's a lot of fun, but that's what we keep seeing. I mean, this week I've met with, I think, 2 people from New York and 1 from New Jersey.
Wow.
A little bit of business I do, Yeah. So
ending up right down there. That's
Yeah. So who knew?
Yeah, and so that trail, it's on our property. My tiny home community is a mile from downtown Travelers Rest, and it's on that Swamp Rabbit Trail. So you can get on a bike on that trail, go through downtown Travelers Rest, through Furman University campus, all the way into downtown Greenville without getting off that bike trail.
Dang.
It's about 11 miles, 12 miles maybe.
One way.
Did you look at that? Was that part of the appeal as far as
of this property?
You're like, I can get to downtown. Okay, you use that as a selling point. Okay.
Oh yeah. You get out on the trail on weekends, and I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I don't even like to get on it.
Yeah,
that's how hopping it is.
you're dodging people, and you got all these grumpy old men on their bikes blowing their things. So yes, it's not that enjoyable, really.
Yeah, you got to get the right timing for sure.
Yeah, don't let anybody know.
So what happened? So Travelers Rest was more because people couldn't afford to be close to Greenville.
Yeah, it was a good bang for your buck. And I think people realized that it wasn't as far to Greenville as initially maybe they thought it was. Yeah. And then, I think one thing that kind of the retirement community likes, and the empty nesters, I mean, the cycling is a big deal in this area, has become a big deal. I think the proximity to the trail and those activities, and then you can be in Hendersonville, North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina in 30 minutes to an hour. I think that was
we got the mountains
appealing.
So we're at the foothills of the mountains. So you're in 20 minutes, you're in the middle of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Right.
Huh.
So it's just a lot of things kind of came together. But I think downtown Greenville definitely is the anchor. Travelers Rest just happened to be in the right place at the right time to be a nice little offshoot. And again, a lot more house for the money, beautiful area. So
and that trail going through downtown. Yeah, that's a game changer.
That was for sure. If the trail had not come, I mean, I think everybody would agree Travelers Rest wouldn't be what it is today.
It'd still be a dump.
Yeah. I don't know about a dump, but it'd be.
We'd probably still have a Walmart.
Yeah, and I'm from Taylor's, by the way, not Travelers Rest.
Well, but see, and I was going to tell you about that because we have a Taylor's in Michigan, and we refer to it as Taylor Tucky.
Taylor Tucky.
So yeah, you go ahead and brag about living in Taylor's all you want, buddy. No offense to any of the 5 listeners that live in Taylor's.
Right.
So, Justin, you got to hit him with what's the most famous person, man. You can't.
So we do a segment that you probably didn't get. Who is the most famous? And Kirby knows some famous people. Some of them have died. He knew who was the squeegee guy or the
OxyClean.
The OxyClean guy.
Billy Mays.
He looks kind of like Billy Mays right now. He sold Billy Mays houses.
I sold him some land.
I knew exactly who that is. So many infomercials. They pump it into our brain as soon as you said it, man.
Yeah. He was a pretty good guy. He was interesting. I didn't get to know him, but. And I'm a salesman, I was showing him the lots. And I was like, man, I said, we bring in that OxyClean by 50-gallon barrels, clean the streets with it. So.
Was he like excitable like that? Was he exuberant like he was on the commercial? Or was he like, I do that all day, man?
Yeah, he was an interesting guy. I mean, he started out selling knives on like kitchen knives on the boardwalk in Atlantic City.
Huh.
That's what he told me, how he got his start. So he just started there and then just kind of worked his way up. And then, I guess met the folks that had OxyClean or whatever, and became their spokesman. And yeah, pretty interesting story.
That's cool.
So,
That's cool.
He's dead. He's dead now, though. He had a heart attack or something.
He had a
right?
heart
So
attack.
we can't get him on our show.
The dude from Tim the Tool Man took over for him now. He's like the go-to guy.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is he?
Yeah, like the sidekick from not Tim.
Oh, the
the Tool Man.
sidekick. Yeah.
Al. What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then,
he took over for him as the unofficial.
and there's some kind of British guy. There's a British.
Yeah,
guy
I've
too.
seen him too.
Yeah,
I've seen him too.
He sells the mops or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was the question? The most famous
Yeah.
person you
Yeah.
met,
The most famous person you know, like you have their number on your cell phone or their email address, like not in passing. You could sell him a house, I'd say would count because you probably.
I still have his number on my phone. I mean, does that count?
No, because he's dead.
Okay.
Update your dang phone, man.
I don't know that I have any other than you. I don't know that I have anybody famous in my.
Dude, you're a loser.
That's the second part of the segment. We try to get him on the show, and we definitely have too much Justin on the show already. So.
Yeah,
Hey, I wasn't even on the last show. How'd it go?
I got to tell you about that.
Yeah, I did caddy for Michael Jordan. But,
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a PG show. I heard he was not a pleasant person.
I was young. I was 19, I think. He was playing baseball.
Oh, okay.
During his baseball days, and he was in town. The Greenville Braves was a minor league team, and he was in town playing, and I worked on a golf course.
Okay.
And so that's how I ended up getting that gig. But yeah, he didn't have a whole lot to say to.
Yeah, I heard he's not a personable. I heard he wasn't not a nice personable person. They're like, if you aren't important, he's not a.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, I wasn't. I mean, I'm still not. So, but it was fun. You know, it was fun either way. I mean, I got a picture autograph for what it's worth. You know. So, but I don't. He did give my dad his personal number because my dad was the salesman at this golf course community, the Cliffs. And he gave his dad his number. My dad his number, but
does he still?
I doubt it's any good anymore.
Yeah, they switched those numbers up.
This was in the 1900s. So.
All right, we need something more to go on. So who else?
I don't think I have anybody in my phone that's famous, honestly.
Even local famous.
Now my wife, she teaches preschool over in Taylor's, and Chris Justice, the head weather guy, kids, she teaches them.
We're just grabbing at straws here,
Five
man.
degrees of separation.
You ever watch him? He's pretty good.
Bit,
yeah. He's really enthusiastic about the weather. I mean,
he's only wrong 50% of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't help you in the whole famous. I mean, what about? I haven't heard all your podcasts. So what about y'all? Do y'all have people?
We have some questionable ones. We got some questionable ones.
CJ, who has invited this guy to be a guest now, we're waiting for a return call.
Yeah, we need.
Went to school with the lieutenant governor of Michigan.
Okay.
He's currently the lieutenant governor, but apparently he doesn't return calls and he's lazy.
He said that I didn't. But we would be remiss if we didn't point out that coming on this podcast as an active political figure would probably be career suicide. So
it could catapult. It could
go either way.
Stratosphere.
It could go either way. 50-50, like the weatherman. Yeah. 50-50 chance.
You gotta learn how to sell this podcast, man.
Yeah, you're hurting. Hey, we could probably destroy you forever. You want to come on?
There it is.
I was telling somebody the other day, and I'm not going to get political because I'm not really political, but we were talking about our real estate team and how well we've done.
Why do you have that giant Trump flag on your front porch?
But you got to love the way Trump sells stuff, though. I was telling somebody about my real estate team and how good we've done this year, you know, everything. And I said, now I'm going to tell it like Trump would tell it. We have the number 1 real estate team in the world. We sell real estate. We sell real estate on the moon.
That's
how beautiful. This is the biggest, beautifulest real estate there is.
I'll tell you this, though. I think you guys are probably the number 1 podcast in all the world.
But there it is.
Zebra asses as your logo.
That's right. Number one.
Exactly.
Congrats.
There's nobody that has zebra asses. We do a very great job. Very, very fine job. Both asses are very, very fine asses.
Yeah, they're listening to this on the space station right now.
Yeah, right.
Probably. Can't prove me wrong. And even if you could, I'll lie about it.
Yeah, you got to sell it like Trump, baby. Sell it like Trump.
There it is.
What about, do you know anybody that owns a restaurant in the area? Something. Business owner. Most famous business owner.
Trying to think. I don't know about famous. I mean, I know the guy at Shakora, but that's not really a. I tell you that I met the manager for Halls in downtown. That's the most expensive restaurant in the Southeast.
We could tear him up.
He's a real nice guy.
I'm sure he'd be interested.
But yeah. So you're looking for potentially local.
No, we'll go anywhere. We're on Zoom, man.
Go anywhere.
That's true.
Yeah. But the whole point is to then harass you regularly about getting this famous person on the show.
So is there like if I could
you're striking
pull
out
somebody to the table, is there like a booking fee, or do I get a hat at least? Do I
We've
get a
never had
hat?
any.
Do I get a hat?
We'll give you 50% off a hat.
50%, $75.
I like that, Justin.
We're making money now.
50% off.
That's a steal, man.
Okay.
Kohl's does 50% off all the time. Their stuff's flying out the door. 50% off.
Yeah.
Anybody
Matter of fact,
listening
no,
to this
we
show,
go over. We're doing 60% off.
there you go. Anybody listening to this show, just go ahead, give us a call. We'll sell you the hat at 60% off.
There it is. You thought 50 was good? We take it to the next level. We take it up a notch here.
And that is the best deal that there's ever been on these hats, ever. And it's the best hat ever.
$75.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Oh yeah, you got the yellow too.
Yeah.
You're gonna see.
Look at those hind parts there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Wild zebras. I like it.
So, what else, man? We could be done.
Well, I thought you were strict 30. We're at 40 minutes now.
Oh wow. What about fast?
Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. No, it's been a pleasure.
I kind of kept elbowing you out of it. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
That's okay.
I needed to get some racist jokes in, apparently.
Yeah, just to feel
Make myself feel more important.
Yeah, our black audience loves Justin.
I'm sure they do.
He's the heel. He's the heel. He's like Hulk Hogan when he turned bad. He was Hollywood Hogan. There you are. You're the heel of the show.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good though if you could get him to dress like Hollywood Hogan.
There it is.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Skinny Hollywood Hogan.
There it is.
You're the size of one of his left arms, but
Yeah, right. Keto Hogan. Keto Hogan.
Keto Hogan.
What's that smell? It's Keto Hogan. Smell his breath from here.
Well, so if my breath does stink. They can't smell it. You don't have to turn me in. Dang. But if anybody is looking for real estate in the Greenville area, he works for Keller Williams. He can help you buy or sell in the greater Greenville area.
Yeah, then go to www.kirbyzane.com. And I'm Kirby, and then my business partner, his name's Zane's. We're the Kirby Zane team, and yeah, we'd love to help.
And Zane, you don't know. It could be a white guy and a black guy. We're not going to tell you. You're going to have to find out.
That's right.
Got to call. Got to call to find out.
Got to call.
Mystery. Nothing sells like mystery.
That's it. That's
Mystique.
Anything else? You want to bring us home, CJ? You want to close us out?
Yeah, man. Keep tuning into the Wild Zebras. You never know what you're going to get. Heck, we don't even know what we're going to get till we do it.
Yeah, we don't.
How more real can you get than that? Peace out, everybody.
CJ, thank you, buddy.
All right. Likewise, man.